Hey everyone, so now that you've got your video uploaded, now you're going to go and actually load it into the Vernier video analysis tool. So you'll just click on that link that's in the Google Doc, okay? And make sure you put in that key earlier that I sent you. Follow that link from the previous homework set, so that way it automatically uploads it. And then here you'll go into import video. So I put mine on my computer, so try and get your files on your computer. It'll be easier. So here I'll open this one, say of me walking. So I'm going to import that, and you can press play, and what you'll notice is that eventually I'll walk across the screen. So what I'm going to do is go back to the point right about where I started walking. And a couple things here before you get started. One, this is where, so in your video, you'll have that meter stick. So we want to go to System, and this is where you're going to set your scale. So I don't have my meter stick in here, so I'm going to go here. Say I go here to here, and say I know I measure that distance, and it's a half meter. So I put 0.5. That will set, and press Enter. That'll set the scale bar for my system. So that way it knows like what distance we're talking about as opposed to just counting pixels, which is what it normally does. The other thing you want to do is get your origin. That's where you're going to put your origin on that starting point. So I'm just going to drag it to the lower left here. On yours, put it at that starting point where you start walking. Okay, so those are the two system setups to make sure we're going, everything's set up, going in the right direction. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go to Add, and that's going to allow you to start adding data points. You can do the auto tracker and see how this works. It may or may not work great. Sometimes it works better than others. But say I put on my nose, I can actually shrink and expand the circle it's looking at. So if I make that circle really tiny, I can pick out like a nostril or something like that. And then I do start auto tracking. It will, in theory, track my nostril as I go all the way across the screen. Kind of lost my nostril a little bit, it looks like. So I just need to readjust a little, find it again, and press start. And you can see it's picking out all the points on the right-hand side that we want. And it's just going to keep going and going and going. And there we go. We'll start auto tracking again. Luckily, I was looking at the screen the whole time, and I was able to get a nice graph. So over here on the right, what you want to do is instead of having Y selected, just have X. That's all we really care about right now. And you could actually, so now that you've actually got your graph to work off of, this is what we want to export. So we click on our graph and we see a nice shape to it. We'll talk more about that shape later. But now what I want you to do is go over here, and under the file window on the left-hand side, click export, and you're going to export your graph, not the video, okay? And then you're just going to save it as a file, save it, in this case, saving it as a PNG, okay? And then we can open that. And then we can copy that. So all I want to do is copy this picture. It should be an option somewhere. There we go. We can copy that picture, and then you're going to go back to the activity. This is where you'll open up the Introduction to Motion answer sheet, and slow motion one direction, paste, Command V. And now you've got your graph in there. So this will be your first graph for this whole thing. And then you can do the same thing for slow motion, the opposite direction, fast motion one direction, fast motion the opposite direction. So you're just going to insert those 4 graphs based on your motion, you moving across the screen. And then you're going to answer some of these questions that go along with it. You have questions 1 and 2. Question 3, describe how you'd walk to generate the following graph. And then you are going to try to match graphs from the instructions. So in the instructions, you have matching graph 1, matching graphs 2 through 4. You're going to try to work through those to figure out how you would walk to generate them.